I firmly believe, like, if, there's passion and then there's being an entrepreneur. You can take your passion into the workforce and you can, generate ideas and help other entrepreneurs that, like my assistant, that's a good example. She's here with me today.
She is.
And, she's young and maybe she wants to start her own business one day, but maybe she doesn't. But whatever it is, you have to be able to have that outlet to be able to express yourself and show people like me other ways of doing things. What are the ideas? What are different things that we can do to make it better, to make it more modern, to make it quicker? Just a million different things, So Femio is all about that too. Being a female CEO doesn't mean you have to be the CEO of your own corporation. You could be the CEO of your household.
Right.
Because your partner goes off to work every day and you want to make sure that you're equipped to, if anything goes wrong in your house, you want to have basic knowledge. If there's a leaky faucet or you have the hot water heater blows up, like where's the main shutoff valve? So when I say Femio and CEO, have that knowledge and power and independence to be your own boss. And that's really what it's all about. Living, not like we could all be a little bit of a damsel in distress, but we all have that a little bit, but really be an independent, self-sufficient person. And that's what Femio is all about.
I love it. I didn't realize people got all this access to you by going, I mean, man.
Yeah.
There's been so many girls' trips. I feel, shouldn't there be a one-season wonder girls' trip?
I think so.
Honestly, we have a lot to choose from.
I would do it, David.
You would?
I would do it.
Who would you want on it? Not just from RHONY. You can choose would you want like a Kim G? I don't know if you know Kim G from Jersey. Rosie from Jersey. Jen Fessler. You met Jen Fessler probably I don't know if you met her, but she was at Jill's party. You know who you
know her.
You know who you might want?
Who?
Kathy Hilton.
Good one. Kathy Hilton, I would take in a heartbeat.
You, Elise,
Yes.
Kathy Hilton.
Yes. Who else could we have on this?
You know who also from Beverly Hills? What about, we've got to mix it up a little bit. What about Faye Resnick?
Oh, Faye Resnick.
Right?
I would like that.
You're ready to go.
Yes. Yes.
I feel I think this will happen at some point.
You too?
I don't know. And I'm just doing like a friends of. I guess is really what I'm saying. Not even one
we
season
need
wonder.
one more. We need
I'm saying
one
friends
more.
of.
One more person.
You know who you might be interested in?
What about Brandy?
Technically, she was a friend of, and now she became a housewife.
Oh.
But she was a friend of, technically. So
she would create a lot of drama.
I don't know if the door, unfortunately, is open.
That might be closed for her.
That
might be not only closed, but nailed shut, too. Okay.
Do you know who would be good? She was on this podcast, Fernanda Rocha. Now, I don't know if you know her, but she is a lesbian from the OC.
We need a good lesbian.
That's what I'm thinking.
We need a lesbian.
See?
Yes.
You guys can,
yeah.
have a moment. Just let's. I'm just putting it out there.
Is she good looking?
Gorgeous, honestly.
Well, bring her on.
Honestly.
I mean, come on.
I forgot what her I'm pretty sure Brazilian, but I'm not 100% sure. But she owns a gym in Laguna Beach.
I mean, I don't know Portuguese, but
You're welcome, Fernanda, for this shout out for your gym in Laguna Beach. But what do you think? Are you going to watch RHONY Legacy? We have Ramona's back in. She said it was a loser legacy. Now they want her back. She filmed it. Kelly Ben-Simone just came out and said that she was told by her castmates before she went on it, stay away from Dorinda, but she found Dorinda extremely wonderful. That's what Kelly said.
Well, they're both crazy, so I could see that. Yeah.
They bonded.
That's not surprising, really.
That doesn't shock you, does it?
No, not at all.
Are you going to watch the new RHONY
Is this
Legacy?
a one episode type of thing?
I think it's probably 8 episodes. If I'm gonna
8
guess,
episodes.
I believe.
I don't think I'm going to invest that kind of time.
You're going to pass on that.
Yeah, I might pass on that one.
Why don't I watch it and tell you?
You can give me the Cliff Notes, David.
And we have no Jill Zarin on there. Listen, Jill came out and said this. I'm not supposed. She said, she wanted more money. They offered her the lowest amount.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
This is like a thing. I'm like secretly like
I thought it was a favored nations thing.
Well, I believe, I mean, this is all my sources. I don't know if this is confirmed, but I believe Jill suggested to them that they do favored nations, and that way everyone would get paid the same. And they were like, no. And listen, I'm proud. Like I don't know if proud is the right word. I love when someone
do you know how much they got, David? You always are privy to these things.
Well, I was told one thing, but now I think it was per episode I've heard numbers.
Really?
I've heard. Now, I don't know.
I'll tell you if you're wrong or you're right.
Well, I heard like a Luann. Like, I think Luann was offered the most. And I think Sonia was offered the second most. And I think Dorinda was offered the third most.
And not Ramona?
Ramona wasn't in there. Remember, here's what happened.
Oh, wait, so Ramona didn't do this?
Now she did it. Because after Jill said no. See, first they said Ramona's fired. First, Ramona, they basically said you're fired, even though they didn't spin it like that because she's had some troubled past. You know, she's done some things or rumors. Then she called it a legacy loser.
You mean because she's prejudiced?
Yes, because of this whole thing that happened, rumored, with Ebony and, HR and all that.
Right.
Then she called it a loser show. She said this and it got lots of press. Then when Jill turned down the money, they said, how could we have this legacy show with we need another person? They had to go back to Ramona and say, guess what? We're actually bringing you back. So that's really what happened.
Oh, see,
however,
I didn't know any of this.
So Ramona, this is why it really is a slight, listen, and I'm not criticizing, you run a business, I run a business, business comes first, right? So when Bravo can, and I'm not knocking them, they can say this one's out because of prejudice and this one's out because of racism, but when they need you for the show, all of a sudden you're back in, which I'm not criticizing, but just let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
So they needed Ramona because, I mean, who else are we going to go to? Oh, and Kristen Tateman's there too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I like Kristen.
Yeah, I love Kristen. I forgot about her. So what was my point? Oh, so I heard, I think Luann was offered something like $50,000 an episode.
No way.
You think too much?
Yeah.
Right, but I also heard in the beginning she was offered $50,000 for the whole thing, without per episode. This is so I don't know if it was per episode.
I think she like north of 50, but definitely south of 400.
And I think when they go down the list, and I think Jill was offered less than Kelly Ben-Simone, and she was extremely insulted, as she should be. And I heard Jill was offered something like 15. If Luann was offered, 50. That's what I heard.
If you think that like,
but I'm not criticizing anyone because I love my Jill Zarin.
Just say one of the highest paid people were paid $1 million, okay, for the last season, and that is, say they got out 18 episodes.
Right. Totally.
Okay.
Which is around what it is. I think Ramona and Luann and Sonia were right around, 900, whatever.
I don't think Sonia was.
But I think she was up there like 80.
I think like 6 or 7.
Yeah. Well, that's still pretty good. Okay, go on.
So you divide that. Let's say that's 350. You take a little bit off. Maybe I would use like a 250 number divided by 8.
Right. Because I think for Girls Trip in general, I've heard you get 250.